Good evening, you're watching Mission 2024, your one-stop destination for all news political leading up to the big gig of General Elections 2024. I'm Preeti Chaudhary and these are the headlines. It's a big win for India at Oscars. RRR roars at global stage continues as Natu Natu wins the award for Best Original Song at the Academy Awards.
Thank you, Academy. RRR has to win. Pride of every Indian, and must put me on the top of the world.
Massive uproar in Parliament over Rahul's foreign interference raga. Union ministers attack Rahul, seek his apology in Parliament. K. Kavita aide and Hyderabad businessman Arun Pillai sent to 3-day ED custody. Pillai plea to retract statement made to ED before also to be heard today. Supreme Court refers pleas seeking recognition of same-sex marriages to a 5-judge constitution bench. This after Centre opposed the matter, calling it violation of societal norms. Islamabad court issues non-bailable arrest warrant against Imran Khan. Cops instructed to present the ex-Prime Minister in court by March 29. US government bails out depositors of the Silicon Valley Bank without bailing out the bank itself. More steps to stabilize the banking sector to be announced by US President Biden. India qualify for World Test Championship after New Zealand beat Sri Lanka in a last-ball thriller in Christchurch. India to face Aussies in the finals. As the budget session reconvened today, an extremely combative BJP MPs walked in Parliament over and attacking the Congress over Rahul Gandhi's remarks. As the second leg of the budget session in Parliament resumed, BJP leaders cornered the Congress over Rahul Gandhi's remarks on Indian democracy. The BJP leaders demanded Rahul apologize for casting doubts on what they called Indian democracy, claiming Rahul insulted India on foreign soil. Meanwhile, the Congress countered it because this seemed like a concerted attack by the BJP, pre-planned even before the Congress or the opposition could start sloganeering or attacking the government on the Adani storm. The BJP mounted this attack. But the Congress also on the sidelines intensified its offensive on Adani in Parliament and outside. Opposition leaders led by Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge marched from Parliament to Vijay Chowk to register their protest over Adani share crisis. Congress also led pan-India protests in various cities like Jaipur, Bhopal, Ranchi, Raipur, Chandigarh, Lucknow, Hyderabad and Mumbai. We're going to play those visuals out for you in just a short while. Let's cut across to all those visuals of protests that are taking place. Of course, what you see on your television screen was tweeted by the Congress. A tweet where they punned on, we're going to play it again for our viewers, that tweet where the Congress punned again on the song Natu Natu that won at the Oscars as Best Song and called it Luto Luto with the picture of the Prime Minister as well as Adani on it. On the other hand, of course, the Congress, which I just told you, shared this image, but lots of protests. We'll play those visuals out. Pan-India protests by the Congress. So two offensives. Let's play those Pan-India protests right now, which took place across India, mounted by the Congress. So two offensives. One, the BJP mounting where Rahul Gandhi was concerned, asking him to apologize on the floor of the Parliament, and the other, the Congress inside Parliament and outside Parliament.
गांधी जो इसी सदन के सांसद हैं, राहुल गांधी ने लंदन में जाकर भारत को बदनाम करने की कोशिश की है और कहा है कि भारत में लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था पूरी तरह से तहस-नहस हो रही है और विदेशी ताकतों को आकर यहाँ पर भारत के लोकतंत्र को बचाना चाहिए। कि भारत की गरिमा पर, भारत की प्रतिष्ठा पर उन्होंने गहरी चोट पहुंचाने की कोशिश की है।
ये कोई विषय ऐसा नहीं है जिसमें उनके पास कोई भी तत्व हो। भारत में फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच है भारत में, सदन में हर एक मेंबर अपनी बात रखता है। जो ऐसे परिवार से आते हैं जिन्होंने देश में इमरजेंसी लगाई थी, देश में लोकतंत्र का गला घोटा था, ऐसे व्यक्ति को भारत के ऊपर इस प्रकार की टिप्पणी करने का कोई अधिकार नहीं है।
एक तो स्पीकर के ऊपर अस्पर्शन, कास्ट अस्पर्शन ऑफ द स्पीकर, चेयर के ऊपर आरोप लगाते हैं सर। उनका माइक पूरा चालू था सर। मैं ये टोटल कंडेम करता हूँ। सिर्फ हम नहीं सर, सारे 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 हमारा सदन कंडेम करना चाहिए। थोड़ा कुछ भी शर्म है तो राहुल गांधी इस सदन में आके माफी मांगना चाहिए। यही हमारा डिमांड है सर।
डेमोक्रेसी को आप डिस्ट्रॉय कर रहे हैं, संविधान के धज्जे उड़ा दे रहे हैं और सब एजेंसी को हाथ में लेके हर अपोजिशन पार्टी को दबाने का, कुचलने का, सप्रेस करने की बात आप कर रहे हैं। और ये ऐसा है, चोर उल्टा कोतवाल को डाले।
अडानी मोदी का महाघोटाला दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा घोटाला है। लाखों करोड़ रुपए का घोटाला। LIC में करोड़ों लोगों का पैसा डूब रहा है, SBI में करोड़ों लोगों का पैसा डूब रहा है और नरेंद्र मोदी जी के मुंह से अडानी का आ नहीं निकल रहा है। इसके पीछे की वजह यह है कि नारा तो हम लोग लगा रहे हैं मोदी अडानी भाई भाई, लेकिन इसके आगे की कहानी है कि ये चोर चोर मौसेरे भाई हैं।
To divert their attention, they have brought this Rahul Gandhi's interview in interview abroad, and it is only a diversionary tactics. We are not going to bow down by this. We are going to continue our protest and agitation for a JPC probe in the Adani issue.
You said that the objections that were made by Piyush Goyal was certainly not part of the House, given the fact that Rahul Gandhi is not a member of upper house. What were your contentions, sir?
This is clearly a diversionary tactics. They don't want to discuss Adani issue at all. They know they are in total defensive in that issue. Therefore, they are taking diversionary tactics. This is what the issue. Technically, you cannot talk a conduct of a member of other house. Rahul Gandhi is the member of the lower house. You cannot talk his conduct in the upper house. This is clearly a convention is there, rule is there. They are violating entire things. Then, academical interest. If we want Rahul Gandhi to apologize, first they have to tell Narendra Modi to apologize for the country, for which he had given a statement when he went to China and South Korea against India. Very defamatory statement against India. First, if Modi is going to apologize first, okay.
Let's cut across right now to Rahul Srivastava, our National Affairs editor, who's going to deconstruct on what we saw on first day of Parliament reconvening for the budget session. But Rahul, interesting because the BJP clearly had a game plan because they understood what the opposition might do, which is continue when it came down to the Adani offensive. They preempted it and turned it around and mounted their counter-offensive on Rahul Gandhi, apologizing on the floor of the parliament regarding on his remarks abroad.
Precisely, Preeti. You see, usually every morning during a parliament session, at around 10 o'clock, there is a meeting of the BJP top brass. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, the two leaders in the house like Prahlad Joshi and Piyush Goyal and others. Now, in this meeting, the day's strategy is chalked out. Now, just when this meeting was happening, the MPs had started rolling in, and few ministers and MPs had already issued a statement that there should be an apology from Rahul Gandhi. There were 4 to 5 MPs already protesting outside, demanding an apology from Rahul Gandhi. And then, in this meeting, usually, Preeti, what happens is that it is decided whether the MPs of the BJP or the government will come out with firearms or flowers. Now, the intent was made very clear when Rajnath Singh at exactly 11:03.33 at 3 minutes past 11, through a special permission by the chair, rose to speak up. Now, the choice of what they wanted to raise comes second. I think the person they chose was Rajnath Singh. That's a very interesting choice. Rajnath Singh is seen as somebody who has got better relationship somebody in the government who's got better relationship with the opposition. He has not burnt his bridges. Never, usually you will not find him attacking Congress or leaders, launching personal attacks. Rajnath Singh was chosen for this because he also happens to be the second number 2 in the government. And Rajnath Singh turned what is the shades of vignets of grey into black and white. Rahul Gandhi insulted when he said that he did X and Y, Z. That was a preemptive strike. Very clearly, it was a preemptive strike, because just barely minutes before that, 16 political parties in the opposition had met with Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge leading the meeting and decided to attack the government on Hindenburg report and the Adani issue. Now, that's how what has happened eventually today is that it is now Rahul Gandhi's insult to India abroad and Adani's relationship with Narendra Modi and the NDA government. Now, why the government is doing it? The government is indicating that it is ready for a disruption. When the government goes in with an agenda like this, instead of reaching out to the opposition with somebody like a Rajnath Singh, who is said to have good relations with the opposition, the intent is clear that the government is going in for disruption, both in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Now, the budget session is convened for what? It is for, second part is for passing the budget and the finance bill. Now, that's again a very interesting thing. The government knows that on the finance bill, it does not need much in the Rajya Sabha, because Rajya Sabha finance bill is inconsequential. It is important in the Lok Sabha. Now, on the 14th of March, 2018, something very similar happened. The opposition was on the warpath and was attacking the government. And at that time, the finance bill, along with 218 amendments, was passed without a debate. There was absolutely no debate. And Sumitra Mahajan used a special provision of bulletin to actually get the finance bill passed without a budget. The government knows that if it needs to, if push comes to shove and there is continuous disruption, it can pass the finance bill and eventually the House can be called off.
All right, Rahul, I urge you to stay on with us because we're going to just change tracks. And this is what is happening in Parliament in New Delhi. But there's other political news which is taking place where Rajasthan is concerned. And if there is an offensive lodged by the BJP and the Congress in Parliament, the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to put forth the narrative that it's not going to back down where its national ambitions come into question. Aam Aadmi Party commenced its election campaign in Rajasthan today. The Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and his Punjab counterpart Bhagwant Mann kick-started what they call the Tiranga Yatra in Jaipur. It was a road show is what you'd say. Rajasthan goes to poll at the year end. Aam Aadmi Party, which became a national party after 6% of votes in Gujarat, is trying to make inroads not just in Rajasthan, viewers, but other states as well. So what you see right now is Arvind Kejriwal trying to test waters in Rajasthan, in Chhattisgarh, in Madhya Pradesh, and see out of these three states which one would work ideally for the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, in this, Arvind Kejriwal hit out at the Congress and the BJP both, claiming that since independence, the two parties have ruled the desert state for 48 years and 18 years respectively, and cannot claim that they did not get an opportunity before. Listen in.
18 साल इनको दिए, आपने 48 साल उनको दिए, 18 साल इनको दिए, 5 साल हमको भी दे दो। हम भी इतने बुरे तो नहीं है। एक मौका हमको दे दो, एक बार हमारी सरकार बना के देख लो, पसंद नहीं आए तो अगली बार बदल देना। मनीष सिसोदिया को जेल क्यों भेजा? इसलिए भेजा क्योंकि वो गरीबों के बच्चों की पढ़ाई करवा रहा है। इनसे बर्दाश्त नहीं हुआ, बीजेपी वालों से ये नहीं करवा सकते गरीबों के बच्चे, सरकारी स्कूल ठीक नहीं कर सकते। एक शख्स आया आजादी के बाद 75 साल के बाद जिसने सरकारी स्कूल ठीक करने चालू करे, इनसे बर्दाश्त नहीं हुआ, बेचारे को जेल भेज दिया इन लोगों ने। एक ही डर है कि आम आदमी पार्टी दिल्ली और पंजाब से फैल ना जाए कहीं पूरे देश में, इसलिए ये कहते हैं जिसने स्कूल बनाए दिल्ली में, अरे स्कूल बना दिए, इतने अच्छे स्कूल बना दिए, गरीबों के बच्चे पढ़ लिख रहे हैं, गरीबों के बच्चे तो वकील बन रहे हैं, गरीबों के बच्चे तो डॉक्टर बन रहे हैं, ये तो समझदार हो जाएंगे, समझदार हो जाएंगे तो सोचकर वोट डालेंगे, सोचकर वोट डालेंगे तो कांग्रेस और बीजेपी को कोई भी नहीं डालेगा। तो जिसने स्कूल बनाए उसको अंदर कर दो, मनीष सिसोदिया को अंदर कर दिया भाई साहब। गरीब तो अपना इलाज फ्री में बड़े बड़े सरकारी अस्पतालों में करवाने लगे, इसका मतलब जिसने अस्पताल बनाए उसको अंदर भाई साहब सतेंद्र जैन को अंदर कर दिया।
All right, to me, and I want to bring in both Sharat Kumar, who's live from Jaipur, our Jaipur bureau chief, to break it down for us on what the entry of possible the Aam Aadmi Party mean in a state like Rajasthan. And, but Rahul, I'll also want to bring you in on this, because is Arvind Kejriwal really sure of Rajasthan? We don't quite know yet, but the language is exactly bang on the same as Gujarat, where he's once again attacked the Congress and the BJP. But before I come to you on this, I want to pull in Sharat. Sharat, जो अरविंद केजरीवाल है अपने लिए जमीन ढूंढ रहे हैं राजस्थान में, पर जो राजस्थान की पॉलिटिक्स रही है, अगर आप उस पे थोड़ी लाइट डालें, वो हमेशा दो पार्टीज के बीच में ही रही है, कांग्रेस और भारतीय जनता पार्टी। जगह है क्या अरविंद केजरीवाल के लिए राजस्थान में?
देखो, दिल्ली में भी दो ही पार्टी की लड़ाई रहा करती थी प्रीति। देखिए, जनता पार्टी और जनता दल, जब भी एक आंदोलन खड़ा हुआ था, मूवमेंट, तो राजस्थान में अच्छा सपोर्ट मिला था और बीजेपी के करीब करीब बराबर आ गई थी दोनों पार्टियां, मगर दोनों खत्म हो गई। दोनों के बड़े बड़े नेता आज दोनों पार्टियों में हैं। राजेंद्र राठौड़ जो बीजेपी के नेता हैं सदन में, वो जनता दल से आए हैं, और इसी तरह कांग्रेस के बहुत सारे मंत्री हैं जो जनता दल से आए हैं, विधायक हैं। तो ऐसी बात नहीं है कि यहाँ पर थर्ड फ्रंट की जगह नहीं रही, मगर कोई ढंग से तैयार नहीं किया। आज जिस तरह से भीड़ आई थी, अरविंद केजरीवाल बहुत उत्साहित होंगे, बहुत अच्छी भीड़ थी, ऐसा अंदाजा या अनुमान नहीं था कि इतनी बड़ी संख्या में लोग आएंगे। तो देखिए, कहीं ना कहीं एक स्पेस तो दिखता है, और इतना अच्छा वो बैकग्राउंड जो है वो समझ कर आए थे, होमवर्क करके आए थे कि वो टारगेट कर रहे थे करप्शन को लेकर वसुंधरा राजे और अशोक गहलोत दोनों पर। कह रहे थे यहाँ पर राजस्थान में भाई बहन पार्टी चलती है, वसुंधरा राजे अशोक गहलोत पार्टी चलती है। देखिए, कांग्रेस के बारे में हम लोग बात करते हैं, बीजेपी जो है हिंदूवादी पार्टी है और सांप्रदायिकता के आधार पर आगे बढ़ी है, मगर अगर स्टेट वाइज आप अध्ययन कीजिएगा प्रीति, तो कांग्रेस की सरकारें करप्शन पे खत्म हुई हैं। हर जगह करप्शन के मोर्चे पर बीजेपी ने उन्हें धकेला है पीछे। यही अरविंद केजरीवाल करप्शन के मोर्चे पर दोनों को घेरते नजर आए कि 48 और 18 साल में ही जो करप्शन हुआ है, कभी जांच नहीं हुई, कभी कोई जेल नहीं गया, और अस्पताल, स्कूल जैसे मुद्दे राजस्थान में बड़े मुद्दे हैं जिस पर एक आंदोलन होता है, उससे भी छूते नजर आए। भगवंत मान को उन्होंने माइक दे दिया और कहा कि बताइए कैसे पेपर लीक हुआ था, तो हमने सारे प्रोफेसरों को अरेस्ट कर लिया। तो होमवर्क करके आए थे, अगर कोशिश करेंगे तो यहाँ पर स्पेस बन सकता है।
शरद, अभी टाइम वक्त है, क्योंकि एक साल भी नहीं है चुनाव पे, पर आप जो कह रहे हैं, जो भीड़ उमड़ी आज, क्या वो कार्यकर्ता की भीड़ थी या एक्चुअल भीड़ थी कि देखने आए थे कि देखिए ये कौन नया नमूना पहुंचा है और उतरा है राजस्थान की पॉलिटिक्स में?
देखिए, कार्यकर्ता हम नहीं कह सकते, इन्होंने कभी यहाँ कोशिश की नहीं है पार्टी बनाने के लिए। ये यहाँ पर जो आम आदमी पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता हैं, वो आम आदमी पार्टी ही है, वाकई आम आदमी लोग ही हैं, क्योंकि इन्होंने वही सीरियस कोशिश नहीं की है। विनय मिश्रा उनके विधायक हैं, आते हैं, प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके चले जाते हैं, मगर ऐसा कहा जा रहा है कि इस एक महीने में इन्होंने 4.5 लाख लोग जोड़े हैं। इनके पास समस्या हो रही है चेहरे की। थोड़ा सा राजस्थान में चेहरा मैटर करता है, फ्यूडल स्टेट है, यहाँ अभी भी राजा और रानी जिस दिन महल से निकलते हैं, चुनाव लड़ते हैं और जीत जाते हैं, उस लिहाज से उन्हें एक चेहरे की जरूरत पड़ेगी। पंजाब में भगवंत मान का चेहरा आखिर घोषित करना पड़ा था उनको।
पर शरद, कहने में ये भी आया था, खूब कोशिश की थी सचिन पायलट को लाने में,
चेहरा मिले। जी, मैं इसका जिक्र नहीं करना चाह रहा था, क्योंकि बहुत कोशिश की गई थी और कहा जा रहा था कि सचिन पायलट से बातचीत चल रही है, मगर सचिन पायलट को मुझे लग रहा है कि वो कांग्रेस छोड़कर जाना नहीं चाहते हैं, क्योंकि अरविंद केजरीवाल की भी काम करने की शैली वही है जिस शैली से वो खफा हो जाते हैं। तो मुझे लग रहा है कि वो मन बना नहीं पा रहे हैं। हालांकि अरविंद केजरीवाल आज सचिन पायलट पर अटैक नहीं करते नजर आए, उनका नाम नहीं लिया, जबकि बीजेपी सबसे ज्यादा अटैक करती है अशोक गहलोत के अलावा सचिन पायलट पर, क्योंकि उन्हें लगता है कि सचिन पायलट कहीं चेहरा न बन जाए।
शरद, बस एक और सवाल के लिए आएंगे आपके पास, पहले मैं राहुल को एक बार राहुल के पास चली जाऊं, फिर एक और सवाल के लिए आएंगे कि जो गुजरात की जनता थी, उन्होंने तो मतलब ज्यादा नहीं, काफी रिजेक्ट कर दिया था आम आदमी पार्टी को। क्या गुजरात की जनता और राजस्थान की जनता में अंतर है? क्या राजस्थान की जनता थोड़ा और वेलकम देगी? वो सवाल आपसे करेंगे, पर आई ब्रिंग इन राहुल फॉर अ क्विक कमेंट ऑन दिस. Rahul, very interesting. Same language which was, used by Arvind Kejriwal in Gujarat, the same in Rajasthan. Do you see him testing waters in all three states and then maybe deciding this is the state I want to focus on?
Preeti, I think Rajasthan is a good pick because compared to the other states, like the big states, Madhya Pradesh, I will say that if somebody wants to deal in a battle between BJP and the Congress, and the real intent is to eat into the Congress, then Rajasthan is a good state. Rajasthan is primarily a good state because the Congress, the sense of disarray in the Congress, and the kind of negative inertia that the Congress has gathered over the last few years, I think there is definitely a possibility that Arvind Kejriwal senses. Another important thing that though the BJP had swept all the seats in the state in 2019, compared to a Gujarat, remember, Preeti, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not as compared to Gujarat on ticket in Rajasthan as in Gujarat. So there could well be a little difference in terms of swaying the votes. But Rajasthan, remember, as Sharath is saying, is a very, very polarized in terms of their political loyalties kind of state.
Right.
What Arvind Kejriwal, I think, will be looking at after contesting 142 odd seats in 2018, getting 0, this time planning to contest all 200, means I think he's testing waters for the next elections. I think he is trying to get into that Congress space more than actually forming the government. And I think that's the idea, virtually a repeat of what he was trying to do in...
Just a quick comment, Rahul, from Sharath, and I'll bring him in. शरद, गुजरात की जनता, राजस्थान की जनता, क्या अंतर होगा इस बार? और ये जो राजनीतिक जमीन ढूंढेंगे, किससे छीनेंगे, कांग्रेस या भाजपा से?
देखो, जाहिर सी बात है कि वो कांग्रेस से ही छीनेंगे, मगर जो राहुल सर कह रहे थे कि कांग्रेस जो है यहाँ पर डिसहरे है, उससे ज्यादा डिसहरे में तो बीजेपी है। यहाँ पर 15-15 मुख्यमंत्री बन के घूम रहे हैं। तो ये एक स्पेस है। जहां तक आप जनता की बात पूछ रही थी प्रीति, देखिए, जनता से ज्यादा मैटर करता है कि वहां पर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी में स्ट्रॉन्ग आयरन हैंड था नरेंद्र मोदी का और अमित शाह का। यहाँ वो पर है नहीं। यहाँ पर नरेंद्र मोदी और अमित शाह की ज्यादा चल नहीं रही है। ना वसुंधरा राजे सुन रही है, ना सतीश पूनिया, ना किरोड़ी लाल मीणा। मतलब इतने नेता हैं जो आप समझ नहीं सकते हैं। इसलिए कांग्रेस तो यहाँ पर देखिए जिस तरह के हालात है, बहुत ज्यादा कांग्रेस के लिए उम्मीद नहीं है। यहीं से अरविंद केजरीवाल की उम्मीद भी बढ़ती है। जहां कांग्रेस की उम्मीदें खत्म होती है, वहां अरविंद केजरीवाल की उम्मीद बढ़ती है, क्योंकि वोट बैंक वहां खींचते हैं वो, मगर यहाँ बीजेपी की भी खींच सकते हैं। जैसे पंजाब से लगते इलाकों में जो सिख वोट बैंक है, वो अच्छा खासा बीजेपी का प्रभाव कर रहा है, वो ले सकते हैं वो श्रीगंगानगर और हनुमानगढ़ के बेल्ट में। आदिवासी बेल्ट में गुजरात में ठीक ठाक किया है उन्होंने, तो वो गुजरात की सीमा पर जो है बांसवाड़ा के इलाका, वहां ले सकते हैं। तो कुछ कुछ जगह कोशिश करें तो बन सकता है। हालांकि गुजरात में वो देरी से गए थे, यहाँ भी तो देरी हो ही रही है।
देरी से ही आए हैं। चलिए, बहुत शुक्रिया शरद हमसे जुड़ने का। We'll keep coming to you in days to come as we run up to the Rajasthan elections. Rahul, appreciate you joining us. I'm going to go into a quick break. To stay with us, because on the other side is To The Point.
India Today Conclave 2023, March 17th and 18th, New Delhi. Listen to Dhananjay Y. Chandrachud, Chief Justice of India. The India Moment.
In a bid to ensure consumer safety, the Government of India has now issued a set of guidelines for content creators and influencers on the internet. This, of course, is to protect the viewers and consumers from falling prey to any misleading ad and to make information extra clear between the content creator and the audience. This comes almost 2 years after the Advertising Standard Council of India released a set of guidelines. So what changes now? Well, now it only gets more detailed. He spoke to some creators to understand their thoughts about the guidelines and how it affects their process of content creation. Now, more than just using hashtags, the creators have to mention that their content is sponsored in the picture and the video itself than just in the caption.
But the fact that the new guideline has come out where you need to put it in the video for a certain amount of time where people can actually read does not make much of a difference, honestly, because you're anyways putting the label, paid partnership label, in your bio out there, plus you're putting an ad. So people already know that it is an advertisement and you're getting paid for it. And now on Instagram, it's become such a common thing that when you start talking, only your audience knows it's going to be an advertisement and not like a original organic video of yourself.
I think as influencers, there's one new influencer coming up every minute, I'd say actually. As an influencer, if you want to survive, consumers' trust is number one, and you can only get trust when you're transparent. So actually being transparent, doing all the disclosures properly will help you be a better creator, better influencer, and survive in the long run and differentiate yourself. So I feel it's very important, and especially because there's a lot of misinformation which is there, and being from the finance sector, it's even the gravity of the decisions that are being made are very heavy. So these guidelines are important so that people's interests are safeguarded.
With great power comes great responsibility. You have to make sure that the information that you convey to the viewer, to the buyer, to the genuine buyer, is accurate. So there are a lot of times when I talk about the property and I do the tour, there are certain times where I forget to describe the property or certain things about the property. I prefer to put all the details in the description, and in most of my videos, I do mention that, all the details are in the description. So authenticity, integrity is what was mentioned out there. In fact, I just made a story about the same thing. Authenticity, transparency, integrity are the things that are very important when you are talking about real estate in my field. And I think ASCII also is aligned to the same thought pattern.
So be it the internet stars like Bhuvan Bam and Prajakta Kohli to OG influencers like Virat Kohli and Shah Rukh Khan, all of them now come under the purview of these guidelines. But what do you think about it? Do you get easily influenced through the internet, and would these guidelines help you differentiate better? Do let us know in the comments.
Ekta Kapoor has done it. So has Rita Ora, Diana Hayden, and actor Mona Singh. The list is endless. Just so many women are freezing their eggs, postponing motherhood for various reasons: social, health, career, or personal. Social egg freezing has been lauded for its potential on the basis that it enables women to have it all, by allowing them to focus on their careers and have children later on. It truly is empowering women. And the trend is catching up. Gynecologists across the city have seen a rise in the number of inquiries for egg freezing, where a woman's eggs are extracted, frozen and stored. Later, whenever she plans to get pregnant, the eggs are thawed, fertilized and transferred to the uterus as embryos. So what exactly is this process? Egg retrieval is the process of removing eggs from your ovaries. During this process, you'll arrive at your doctor's office or clinic and an IV will be administered. This will allow them to provide general anesthesia for the procedure, since you'll be asleep during the process. During the egg retrieval, your doctor will use a transvaginal ultrasound probe with a needle, which is inserted in your follicles under ultrasound guidance. The fluid inside the follicles that contains the eggs is aspirated and collected into tubes, which are then given to an embryologist. The embryologist will then examine the follicular fluid and identify the eggs. The entire process takes roughly 10 to 20 minutes to complete. Once you wake up, your doctor will tell you how many eggs were retrieved. We also caught up with Mishwa, who says this is her right and there's no shame in freezing her eggs. After all, this is her body. Mishwa is still unmarried, but took this decision at a very young age just to focus on her career. The flip side of egg freezing is the cost. The process of egg freezing is cheaper in India than in most other countries. In India, it costs approximately between 1,50,000 and 1,70,000. Costs may go up depending on the number of cycles needed and later embryo creation and implantation fee. A woman's fertility declines with age. That decline accelerates in her late 30s due to a sharp decrease in both quantity and quality of available eggs. To ensure healthy and viable eggs, some fertility experts suggest limiting elective egg freezing to women aged 38 and under. Companies like Google and Facebook are the first to encourage women for this process and on bearing the expenses for them too. Many ask if this is sending the wrong message, that work is more important than family. Whatever the case, it really is about a woman's choice at the end of the day.
The all-new Red Dark Edition by Tata Motors.
Good evening, you're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. One would have thought that with the taking down of Section 377, which decriminalized homosexuality, that was the benchmark